Right.
Anyways, let's talk about Resident Evil since Resident Evil 8 just dropped the
Yes.
week before the podcast is dropping. I have I have good Resident Evil stories. I have many Resident Evil stories, but I wanted to ask, did you play Resident Evil 7? I don't
Mm,
know that we ever talked about it. That's the PS4 version, the first it's the first one in first person, I guess.
I don't know if I played that one.
I
Which one
would
was
let me
which
just
one
say
was
this.
7? What was
You
it
would
called?
know if you
Yes,
played it, dude.
I played
It's
7. That
You
was the
did.
one. That was the one. Was it like Biohazard or some shit?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes,
Resident
yes, I
Evil
played
7
that one.
Biohazard. It was the first time that the Japanese name, because remember the original Resident Evil came over, or like back in the day when we first started playing Resident Evil on the PS1, it was called Biohazard in Japan. And then it came over here and it was called Resident Evil.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh yeah. So
That's
that's the
cool.
story. So when 7 came out and it was like the first it was the first one that just launched at the same time, as far as I know. I could be wrong, like 6 and 5 and 4 could have launched at the same time, but
Right,
that was the catch. Is Resident Evil 7 is called Resident Evil Biohazard, but it's called Biohazard in Japan. So
right.
yeah, there's like a whole thing there.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's super cool. But
Yeah.
yes, I for sure played that one. That storyline is so dope. That game is so fucking scary. That
I figured this was a good topic. You have talked about in the earlier podcast, not so much lately, but you really talk about how much you like horror movies and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I thought, dude, we gotta talk about Resident Evil. You have to love this shit.
they have
I
that
know you
one.
do.
Yes,
We're good friends. I know you
I
fucking love this shit.
yeah. I want to play that one so badly on the VR headset
Oh, see, fuck
because
that.
dude, there's one so like if you guys haven't played it, there's a part in the beginning where you're going through this house and there's like this guy and you're trying to not alert him, and when he hears you, he fucking comes at you. And that to have it in VR would just be like, oh shit, he's
Mm-mm.
coming. He busts
Mm-mm.
through walls and shit, man. Like it scares
Fuck
the shit out of
that.
you. And just the whole thing, like there's so many what the fuck moments in it. Just
Is there
I
really?
have you played it?
So I played the demo. I only played the demo. I downloaded the demo because they had a free open demo for anybody who wanted it, because it was such a big change in the franchise, right? Because it
Yeah.
went first person. It was just a huge change,
Oh
and
yeah.
I
I
got the
know the demo.
chills. Yeah, I got the chills from walking around in like an attic, because one time I I was walking in, and then I turned around and a mannequin had moved like right in front of me. So when I turned around, the mannequin was right there, and I got the
Yeah.
fucking chills down the back of my
Yeah.
neck and down
Yeah.
all the way down my arms into my hands. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. And Resident Evil is so good at setting up those scares where when you go into some place, something moves and there's no
Mm-hmm.
possibility of catching the guy. But when you go into the one room and then you have to like, you do your exploring in that room and you come back out of that room, he walks
Mm-hmm.
past the doorway, not in the doorway. You have no idea that there's anybody in the house up until that point. And then he just goes up past the doorway and you're just like, I remember the first time I played it, he walked past
Yeah.
the doorway, and I just like you would in real life, my character just stops, like, oh, oh, shit,
not not because that was programmed into the game, but because you just let your fingers off the sticks.
yeah,
You were
because I
just like,
just went, oh, it's, what the fuck was that? Because you haven't seen anything, you're just looking, you thought. You're like, there's probably something here. Game
right.
is set up to scare me, but like this is a abandoned house, and then you're just like, oh, is it abandoned? Was that a ghost? Was that a real what did I just see?
What the fuck?
But yeah, so that same guy, that's the guy later on that you end up in the house with, and he's chasing you around and stuff. And the kind of ending of that segment,
Mm-hmm.
you go into the garage, and like basically it ends by this guy going, I'm about to show you something wonderful. and fucking takes the gun that you have in your hand under his chin and blows his own head off.
What the fuck? What?
You
Oh my
just,
god! Spoiler alert for Resident Evil
yeah,
7.
spoiler alert. Sorry if you haven't played it yet. You should have.
Holy
I'm about to
fuck,
show you
dude!
something wonderful.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and then another spoiler alert if you haven't played it. He comes back.
Yeah, Jesus. Of course he fucking comes
They
back.
all come
Oh my
back.
god. They all come back. That's the
They
whole thing around
they
Resident
all
Evil.
come back. And the song too. Oh man, I've never heard that song before, but it's some like
Mm,
old-timey like British. I'm assuming it's British because of the name, but
okay.
it's just like this little kid voice that's just like, go tell Etta Rowley.
Oh
And then
yeah.
it's like it sings it for a little while, and then they literally say that everyone is dead. You're like,
Oh my
what the
god.
fuck?
What the fuck,
Just
dude?
this little kid singing that creepy ass song. But
Ah,
yeah,
little kids, they're the
that
creepiest.
that is a good game. The storyline is creepy. All the bosses that you have to fight, the puzzles are hard in that one.
Oh, really?
I had to get help in there's like a secondary, you're almost on this, like, to start out you're on this person or like this family's like land, and there's
Okay. Yep.
multiple houses. There's like
Yep.
the main house, there's a side house. The one side house is like all booby trapped and stuff, and like I don't think I would have figured it out without looking it up.
No shit.
I was struggling, man.
Damn.
Hard shit. Yeah.
Damn. That
Yeah.
is one thing I've always liked about the franchise is that it's like it's freaky. It's like the whole thing is sort of a puzzle game, but like you've never been you've never been just killing zombies. You've never just been surviving zombies. Like that's not what that game is. It's not just
No.
surviving creepy shit.
Right.
That's not the
No.
hook.
Yeah. No.
It's good.
You got to get the puzzles. Yeah, and it's like
Right.
a lot of them will be like a puzzle. Like there's precursors to everything, where
What does that mean?
like, well, you'll walk up to something and you'll look at a statue, like you can do everything, and
Yeah.
it'll be like, oh,
Mhm.
this is a statue. It looks like there's a piece missing, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, all right, I gotta find.
Right.
I'm gonna run
Yep.
across the piece, and then when you find the piece, you're like, oh shit, I gotta go
Yep.
back to where that statue was. This is what I just found.
Yeah.
And then when you
Yeah.
get that, you're like, oh man, like, eh, like I've played so many of these games that you almost get like that pit in your stomach. You're just like, fuck, I found the piece, but now they want me to go back in that same room, and I know
Right.
the guys are gonna be like different than they were
Something's gonna
before.
be there.
Yeah, like, and that was in the second one where the jump scare where you walk down the hallway and there's nothing there the first time. And when you
Mm-hmm.
come back through, the fucking dogs bust through the window and you're like, oh
Bust through the
shit.
fuck. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I hated that, dude. Playing that on PS1, oh my god. Okay, uh, I was playing it with my friend from across the street, and we had that happen to us, and we paused it and we just stopped. We turned on all the lights in like the entire basement. And it wasn't like we weren't playing in the dark to try to be scared because we knew we were fucking scared of this game.
Yeah.
But when that happened, we got so freaked out. But we had to get to the next save point because remember on PS1, there was
Right.
no autosave.
Yeah. Just like
There
shit.
was no auto.
I can't. If I stop now, I'm just gonna have to do this shit again.
Exactly. And we got so goddamn scared. We froze. We froze in that same chill that I talked about when when I turned around about in the Resident Evil 7 demo where it like went down the back of my neck and my arms and shit.
Hmm.
That happened then, and he was playing. He paused it, drops the controller is my memory, and we just stood there.
Just breathing heavy. Fuck.
Yes, I literally went and got my dad. Like, we're just like, we can't do it. We can't. We like, the room is right there. It's right around the corner, but we can't move. Like, we feel paralyzed in this spot. We couldn't move. I had to go. We turned on all the lights. I had to go get my dad. We couldn't do it, dude. And this is,
Oh,
we're like, we're not quite teenagers, but we're,
yeah,
it was
dude.
just like, no, no, I can't do this. And
Yeah,
this is PS1. Look at the graphics on PS1
right. No, I know the graphics.
compared to today, compared to
Dude,
7.
I remember like we just had such good imaginations back then because like we never. It's as good as it was. Like
Right.
we
Yeah,
never had anything
for
better, so
sure.
you just had to imagine it looking
Yep.
normal. Like I remember there being
Well, and still, it was CDs, so the sound was really, really,
yeah.
really good. So that was a huge part of it.
But I remember like people even just talking about like Laura Croft and just being like, "Oh, she's so hot," and you're like, "She's a fucking bunch of boxes." She-
Yeah, for real, dude. For real. That's a really good point. Is like, yeah, Laura Croft was like, oh my God, she's so
Can you
hot.
believe
And
it?
you're like, what?
Yeah. There was a Game Shark for you kids at home. Game Shark was a thing that you could buy and actually plug it into the system that would be able to like plug in codes and like cheat codes that were beyond like what you could just do like up A B whatever,
Right.
on the
And it'd give you like
PlayStation
30
it's,
lives or something like that.
square, triangle, yeah, but
Yeah. This was like a
exactly.
hack. This was like a hack
Oh,
machine.
it was a legitimate hack machine, and I remember having that for the original PlayStation. And Tomb Raider 2, I could play a version where Laura didn't have any clothes on, and I remember just being like, "Oh, she's naked." I saw photos of that not too long ago. It's
Mhm.
like a tan box with a brown box on it for a boob. And you're just like, I remember being a kid just being like, I could see your boobs. And you're just like, it's a box with another box on it. That's not a boob.
You're like, that's not a boob.
It's not a boob.
That's
Just
so good.
so silly back like what you look at now to just be like, I
Right.
cannot believe we actually thought like you would brag about it. Dude, totally
Yeah.
saw Laura Croft's titties.
You go to school the next day.
And then
I've seen
everybody,
them.
yeah, and it wasn't even like you're being stupid. Everybody else is just like, "Shut up, dude. Can we come over?" Like, "Yeah, dude, you can come over. I'll show you."
You hide your Game Shark book quick. You're like, shit,
Right,
look, I just got this version.
right.
So I want to get back to 2 now because 2 was definitely my big intro into it. Like, that was when I got hooked. It was like, oh my God,
Yeah,
2 discs. And you can fucking play one as Jill and you can play one as Chris. And it was like, holy shit, it was cool because it was 2 games in the same place and they overlapped with. They did such a goddamn good job on that game. And I'm actually playing the remake on PS4 right now, which it's
there.
so it's so good and it's really fun to play as someone who really got invested in it back in the day on the PS1. I still
Yeah,
kind of remember it. It's fucking weird. Like, I can still
yeah,
sort of, like you were saying, walk up to the statue and it'll say, "This is a jade statue. It needs a jade diamond." And you're like,
yeah.
"Yeah, I remember that."
Right. Yep. I remember that stuff too. Like, I remember weird specific stuff. Like sometimes where you're like
What does that
not
mean?
like not everything, but I'll be like coming down this like one thing, and I'm just like, oh shit, there should be a green herb around this corner. And then like there
Oh,
is like
right,
weird stuff
right.
like that. Like I knew there was
Yeah.
gonna be that herb there.
Yeah.
It, just
Are you
weird.
playing Resident Evil 2 remake? We've never talked
No,
about that before.
no, I did
Okay.
play a little bit of it. Like there was a demo that came out that I played some of it, but I
Mm-hmm.
never actually got it. So I know what you're
Yep.
talking about. Where like the nostalgia just from the demo was like, oh shit, I know.
Yeah.
Like all this is coming back to me right now.
Isn't that weird? Like,
Yeah,
it
and it's
feels so weird
so
now as an
much
adult
better.
to have that happen.
The cutscenes are dope. Plus, they put it in like the problem with the old ones. If you guys haven't played them, was the camera was like fixed up in the corner of the room,
Yep.
and then when you went to the next room, the camera could sometimes change, and your orientation would completely change based off of where the camera was. So
Yep.
now up is down, down is up, and sometimes you're running from one room to the next trying to get away from something. and
Mhm.
up just became down, and you run right back into where you were trying to get
Right
away
back.
from. You're like, "No, no, 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 no."
You're like, "Fuck, damn it."
Yes. And now they've completely changed the whole gameplay to where you don't have any of that because
Yep.
the machines can handle it now. I mean, like you
Right,
said,
yeah, yeah,
2
because
discs,
that was
there's
part of Resident Evil, right? Like, back in the day when we started playing it, part of that whole thing was those pre-rendered backgrounds allowed them to put all the polygons into the characters, and so they had that's what it was pre-rendered backgrounds, and that's why the camera had to stay fixed is because it wasn't 3D, it was just a JPEG with, you know,
Yeah,
3D information in it. And so
right.
the backgrounds looked really good. The characters looked better than a normal full 3D game. It really turned it up a notch.
Yep, yep. Plus the
And then
size of like I don't remember playing a game where there was like that much space to roam. It wasn't free
right.
roam, but like you
Nope.
would go through this room and then you go upstairs and then there'd be like all these rooms to like search and you're like, this place is fucking huge and it's not even the only building you're in. You
Right.
know, it was
Yeah.
like it was so different from what we were used to.
Right. Yeah. Big time. Because you could there was a map, yeah, to get around the mansion, but like you felt like you were in a mansion. It just got you in
Right.
so
Well,
well. They did such a good
yeah,
job.
it feels so much bigger too when there's, like, bad stuff trying to, like, hurt you,
Right.
where every time
Yeah.
you open a door and you're like, "This room's pretty big, lot of space for a lot of things to go wrong, man." You know, like, it
Yeah.
makes you so much more nervous.
Sure, sure. I so the original, well, this gets really kind of into the weeds, I guess. So Resident Evil 1 was a PS1 game, and then they remade it on the GameCube and just continued to keep it Resident Evil, and it was in full 3D, but it still had the locked cameras. And if I don't know for sure, but I think it also had what you were just talking about, the weird lock where up is down and down is up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then they ported it to current consoles and it came out on PS Plus. So I had also been playing the Resident Evil remake on PS4 of the GameCube remake of the PS1 game.
Okay.
That's that kind of inception that just happened.
Right.
But it has locked
Inside a
cameras.
dream, inside a dream, inside a dream.
Yes, exactly. I was playing that and that has new controls in it. So the locked camera angle doesn't screw with you like the old
Hmm.
version. Now I kind of want to go back and actually play the old version and just be like, is it as bad as we remember? I think the answer is
Yeah.
yes. It
Well,
is as bad as we remember.
do you remember too that like because of how everything was, there was like a slight delay of loading time too when you
Oh,
went
there
into
would be that
certain
like yeah.
yeah, where you go from one to the next and it'd be like "Boop," and then you're in and then you'd so some of the times where you'd be like going from one room and then you hit the wrong button and go back in, you're all of a
Mhm.
sudden just like uh, and you're just like, "No, god damn it. He's gonna fucking
Damn
get me."
it.
And that was, like, even more of the suspense too, which, like, it sucked, but it made it more suspenseful because you're, like
Yes.
these short little clips of, like, you're in this room, and then you're back, and you see the zombie behind you, and then you're going the right way again, and then you're
Yep.
back, and he's a little bit closer to you, and every time you're just like, "No, fucking shit. He's" you're just like, "I don't have enough health." You know, it
Right.
wasn't like the newer ones where, like, he catches me, I'm dead. It
Right.
was just like, if he hits me, I am going to be struggling here.
Right.
Like
Yep.
this is not good, you know. And sometimes, like you even know, like that was back in the day too, where not everything was auto saved. So
You're right. Yeah.
you'd play a little bit further, and you can't get past a part because you're getting just lit up, and you're like, "Damn it! I need to make sure that my health is full." And you fuck up a couple of times on that stuff, and he catches you, and you just shut the machine off. You're like, "I'll start over from the last save point. I can't take that damage. I need to make it through that room the right way."
That was back in the day when the reset button was still there. You just boop
Right. Bloop.
and quick
Just
reboot.
yeah, just get mad. Just hit the reset button, throw the fucking controller. Shit. I had a Nerf controller for that purpose. They made controllers out of it. Nerf actually made a PlayStation controller for a little while. And then
Oh
somebody
my
could go
god,
wrong
that's
and you could just
awesome.
fucking shit.
It was made out of foam.
Yeah, it was made out of foam. It didn't matter what it hit. You weren't gonna break it.
That's so good. So, uh, a lot of Resident Evil's resource management, and the reason why I bring that up is because you said like I don't have enough health for that, and also
Yeah.
you don't want to use your health because it's like the whole damn time you're just like all I got to do is save all these health packs because I know that final boss I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna fucking need them. I'm gonna
Yep.
totally need them. And is
Yep.
Resident Evil 7 still have that resource management? Because I've also heard about like there's a puzzle game sort of about managing your inventory. I don't know. I never played it
Oh,
that far.
there is like not in seven so much, but there like it got to a point where you had cases and you could hold
Oh,
stuff in your case and you could upgrade your case, but there was like spaces and they would take up like this piece takes up like three spaces or whatever.
okay.
So you
Yep.
would put it was like playing kind of Tetris or whatever. You had to not
Oh,
Tetris, but you had to lay everything in there the right way. And
okay.
you could waste space if you didn't lay everything in there right. You could turn the
Oh,
pieces.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like this is a two piece, this is a three piece,
Yep.
you know.
Okay. Is
So
that how they keep? Because like the idea of Resident Evil is the resource. Like things are scarce. It's a zombie apocalypse
yeah,
or
uh-huh.
whatever. Like it's a hard to navigate place. So is that how they make you in Resident Evil 7? Because I'm hearing similar things about Resident Evil 8.
Seven, no, seven is different. I honestly can't remember. I don't think it was
Sure.
quite the same. I think seven. Uh-oh.
Did your battery just die?
I think so.
That's okay. Just let the battery. Oh well, your camera dropped off. We're
Oh,
figuring it out. We're learning our
shit.
equipment.
Yeah. Should I just leave it then?
Yeah,
Or
that's sure.
okay.
Yeah, that's
All
fine.
right.
We'll just let it
S-
go. That's going to be
Sorry
how
guys.
this Tim lost his camera.
Yep.
That's how it'll
I
be.
I'm going to get a cord, but right now I only have batteries, so sorry.
Audio
Um
listeners, you didn't miss out on anything.
you didn't miss out on anything. You're just confused that while we're talking about it, we're just like, uh-oh. They're like, what? What's uh-oh?
Right.
But no, so I can't really remember how it worked, but I do think that it was in 7 where you had to go through in the I think the cases started in 4.
Oh,
But when
okay.
you went to grab stuff out of your case and move stuff around,
Mhm.
it would actually pause the game pretty much. And you could kind of see the background while you were getting stuff ready.
Oh,
7,
okay.
if I remember correctly, you could not. So shit's
Oh.
coming at you and you got to grab stuff out of your case on the fly.
Oh,
And you're just like, damn it,
God.
damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. I need this, I
Sounds
need
so
this.
stressful.
Yeah, you're literally trying to like find a good spot to stop and grab. Like it makes it more realistic and it's scary, but there's
Sure.
also a decent amount in that game of the shit that I don't like, where it's the stuff that you can't kill.
What do you
Like
mean?
you can like hurt it to the point where it stops for a minute, but it will eventually get back up and keep coming for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Ugh,
don't like
I
that
don't like that.
stuff. It's too stressful.
Yeah.
I don't like my video games to be stressful like that. Like I get why they do it and it is scary, so it makes sense to me. But at the same time it's like I just don't care for that stuff. Dead Space did it too.
Ah.
They all do it.
I I I think that the I think Resident Evil 2 did that for me in the sense of like I couldn't kill shit just because I didn't have the resources, and that's the part that I'm okay with. But like
Yeah.
the ability to just not kill it anyway, see, I don't like that. I just like it always comes back. That pisses me off, and it to me is a compensation for resource management because too many people bitch about resource management. That's what I think happened, but I could be wrong there.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like I don't necessarily like that part of it cuz like if I'm trying to save my ammo or whatever, or my
Yeah.
resources, I
Yep.
will try to blow past stuff sometimes, but every once in a
Sure.
while it's like I feel like there's something to this room. I want to explore it.
Right.
but I'm not gonna do it with that fucker over there. Keeps
Right, in
getting
the
back
corner.
up,
I'm
man.
gonna fucking kill it.
I gotta murder that guy.
Right.
And I think you can kill it so it doesn't come back, but it's so
Okay.
much to do so. Like it's
Mm.
like you really have to like give it everything. And there's more than one. So you're like you went all out to kill him
Oh.
and now you have another one that showed up.
And
So
then
you're
his
like,
fucking
fuck.
partner shows up and you're like,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. It's just like, damn it.
Ah,
But
that
yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, so that I mean, I
But I
think
mean, is it, I'm assuming Resident Evil 7 it didn't make your favorite list out of all of them. How many have you played? I guess first.
most of them 6 was lame.
6 was lame. That's what I always hear. I
Yeah.
always hear 6. I tried to play. I bought 5 and then I never opened the motherfucker. But I
5
heard
was
that that
dope.
was like it was it played on 4's action, right? Like 4 kind of brought it
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
action realm and 5
Yeah.
continued that.
4 was my favorite one of all time.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. Third
Yep.
person, so good. And then when you finish
And
it,
Leon again, just want to say
yeah, yeah.
sweet.
And then when you finish the game, you unlock mercenaries and it becomes like a whole another game
Oh shit.
where you get to play as all the characters. There's like you and like you have Leon and you have Ada
Oh.
Wong, and then you also have there's the like bad guys, like the bad guys throughout the movie. You can be throughout the game that
Mhm.
like you can play them, and it's
Oh, shit.
literally like you have like a timed. It's almost like an arcade version of it where like
Oh,
they're gonna
yeah.
keep sending hordes at you, and you just have
Yeah.
to kill as many as you can.
Yeah.
And there's things that you can get to unlock more time,
Mhm.
and there's combos that you can do and all this stuff, and you're just trying to get the most points by
Yeah.
just killing like nonstop.
Yeah.
It's a
Dude,
completely new video game and I loved
I
it so much.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That was in 4
That
that
was
that
in
first came
4.
out?
Yep,
Yeah.
that was in 4. And 4 was basically the same thing as 5. You just get new
Okay.
characters that you're playing
Mm.
through,
Yep.
and 4 was like you start in like a Spanish speaking European country, and 5 was like in Africa.
Okay, yeah, I just remember it being really, like, desert
Yes.
like, and I
Yep.
never got around. Yeah, I actually have 4 for PS2, which is what it released on. I have it. I got it for Christmas, and I never finished it, which is so weird because I finished, like, over 50 PS2 games, and I never got around to Resident Evil 4, which was like, it's so made for me. Given how my experience with Resident Evil 2 went, it was just, like, made for me, and I'm just like, that's such a big open void in my gaming. I have it out still. Like it still sits around like you gotta play that game. You need to play that game.
You do need to play that game. It's my
I
favorite one of all time.
yeah,
And
which
5 5 is good too. It's just like I just like 4 better. I think the characters are better. They're creepier.
mm,
They have their like chanting and stuff and
mm-hmm.
just like there's different just the storyline setting it up too. Like I think 4 I saw less of it coming. Like
Mm,
where I think the storyline's better in 4
yeah.
where you start out like I guess you see it coming, but
Okay.
you just don't know what to expect. And 5 is like
Right.
this is the same thing as 4, so I know what's about to
So
happen.
you're like, "Ah, I kind of see that coming."
Right.
I gotcha. I gotcha. With 8 now being out, fresh, brand new, neither one of us have been able to get our hands on a PS5 yet. So that isn't the appeal for this one, but it is on PS5. Um, would you get it for PS4 though? Like, are you excited for it? Did you even know Resident Evil Village was a thing?
I did. I have looked into it somewhat.
Yeah.
Um, I I've never been the kind of guy that wants to know a lot about the games before they come out, especially
Yeah,
when I
I
just
hear you.
love the genre. I just want
Hmm.
to buy the game and experience everything for myself
Right.
instead of hearing like I looked into it on YouTube a little bit and
Yep.
there's like people putting out videos that are like 8 things you should know about Resident Evil Village before you buy and I'm like I don't
Before
want
you
to know anything about it
buy.
before I buy it. I just want to buy it and play it.
Right. And it's
So,
all fresh. I got you.
yeah, so I'm excited about it, but honestly, with the podcast and everything we're trying to do and the
Yep.
amount of work I have and then
Yep.
the free time I do have at home, my son's 3.
Yep.
I can't play Resident Evil in front of him. Like, I
Right.
just don't think I can get away with it right now.
Yep.
So,
Yep. He's too much of a sponge. He really can get it. But yeah,
yeah,
I no, I hear you. I'm still trying to beat The Last of Us Part 2, which came out before my daughter was even born. So there we are.
there you go.
But again, go to patreon.com/realaftv, REELAFTV. Help us out so we can do more of this, which, hey, means playing
Yeah.
video games sometimes too, I guess,
And if you
because then
wanna
we can talk
watch
about it.
us yeah, and if you wanna watch us play video games, if that's something somebody like, everybody's interested in too,
Yeah.
definitely let us know. We can make that happen.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. We can. We have the technology. Do we have the
We
time? That's the question. Um, I want to know, have you heard, because you got Netflix now, so that's new-ish in your life. We talked
Yep,
about that in the physical media podcast, I believe,
yep.
if I'm not mistaken. So that was just a few episodes ago in episode 18, where we talked about physical media, and I believe that's when you dropped the bombshell. You have Netflix now. Did you know Netflix picked up a Resident Evil animated series?
No, I did
Yeah,
not.
dude, it drops in July already.
Dude,
Yeah.
I wanna check that out. There's a Dead Space animated series that's fucking hardcore.
What?
Yeah, it's hardcore.
Where the fuck do you find that?
I don't know. I've seen it. I don't know where to find it though. I
And
can't
it's like
remember.
official. It's not like some fanfic fuck film.
No, no, it's no, yeah, no, no. It was out there for like it's been out there for a while. Like when Dead Space came out, like I think it was the first one.
Yep.
So yeah, it's pretty hard. It's just like the game.
Oh,
It's
okay.
hardcore, man.
That's fucking cool. I had no idea. This Oh, and of course, Resident Evil 2. Of course it would be Resident Evil 2. That's pretty much what it looks like, that this Netflix special? No, that's not the right way to put it, because it seems like it's going to be like a mini series or something like that. But the point that I'm trying to make is, like, of course, because they're catering to our generation, our group of our age group, because we're the ones paying for Netflix primarily now. And what do we remember? Just like I have been doing this whole time, Resident Evil 2. So that's what it seems like it's going to be, is kind of the Claire and Leon show. But it looks dope, dude. I'm totally going to put it on the list and do my best to watch it. Didn't you have a Blu-ray that was an animated, like, from, oh, I don't know, 10 years? It can't be 10 years ago.
Yeah, there was a Resident Evil 3D animated movie.
There was. Yeah. See,
Yeah.
so I'm not recalling that. Yeah. So it seems like it's going to sort of be in the vein of that, if I remember that correctly. But did you have that?
Yeah, I think I still have it someplace.
What? Yeah. What was it?
I don't even remember, man. It
Me
was
neither.
like I remember it being okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember it being like much. So I really can't remember what it was about at all. But it was just like a Resident Evil movie that kind of looked more like the game. But
Right.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that I really can't tell you any more than that. I just remember that it
Hey,
exists.
yeah. No,
So
that
nothing to
I
write
thought
home about.
right, because didn't set in very well. But yeah, Netflix has a, like, picked up a animated series, and it drops in July. So I'm pretty pumped for that. I'm definitely gonna be checking that out. That's for damn sure. And on that note, did you get into the uh shit? I wanted to call her Mila Kunis. Why the fuck? That's not her name.
Mila
Did you get into the real
Jovovich.
life movies?
Yeah, the Mila Joko. Is it Djokovic or Jovovich?
Yeah. Okay. So her
Yeah,
first name.
it's Mila. Yeah,
Okay. So I was right on that
I
part.
even remember there was a stupid ass. They had those Spike Award TVs, and they gave out
Yeah.
like the dumbest awards, and one of them was hottest Mila, and it was just those two up against each other.
What the
Yeah, It's
That
so
would
dumb.
never fly in 2021.
No,
Never.
and Mila Kunis wins, and she walks up there and accepts the award, and she's like, "Thanks, I guess. Like I'm hotter than one other girl that's with the
One
same name."
other.
It's just so dumb.
That's the weirdest fucking thing. Like,
It's
she
so
threw that in
dumb.
the garbage. She didn't even take that home. She just was like, "This is fucking weird."
Yeah, or she has it in her closet and opens it up and looks at it every once in a while when she's having a bad day. She's like, "I am hotter than that one, though." And just I would think not probably because she's got to know that she's hot. They're both hot.
Right. So
That's why they're
it's just like,
movie stars. I mean, I'm
right.
not saying that's the only reason why they're movie stars, but
Right.
that's why they're like big time leading ladies in
Right.
these like
Exactly.
movies where they need a hot chick,
Right.
you know?
It's just how it works. It's not that they're not
Yeah.
good at acting. It's just like
Yeah.
that's just how it works.
Yeah. No, I have watched everyone. I have
Yeah,
watched
you
all of
did.
them.
Damn,
Yeah.
kick
So
ass.
they're not as good as the games, but they're still good movies.
Yeah, I remember when the first one came out, and I was into it. I thought they did a really good job. It was fun to watch. Like it was fun to watch and make the connections of the game and things like that. I actually had the second one, Apocalypse. Yes, Apocalypse on UMD for the PSP.
Oh, nice.
But funny enough, that was the last one that I watched. Like
Yeah.
I just watched the first two. So much like the video game, I pretty much played the first two and then
Yeah.
kind of fell off.
They're still good and they bring in like characters that you know.
Oh,
Um
cool.
but yeah, it's like well, you didn't play 4,
No,
so I
but go
don't
ahead
know.
and talk about four all you
Well,
want
there's
because I've listened to enough video game stuff where I have a. It's not spoiled for me by any means. I definitely still would love to play it someday, but uh, you know, I think
yeah.
whatever you're gonna say, I'll get
I
it.
guess I'm now maybe I'm thinking remembering it wrong. Do you know Wes?
Oh
Is
yeah,
it Wes?
Chris is in the first one.
Yeah. Is he the like main bad guy, right? With the sunglasses? Or
Yeah.
am I thinking of
Nope.
yeah.
You're on.
So yeah, okay, so yeah. I think I'm remembering that wrong where Wes was the in the first one and then he's a playable character once you get to Mercenaries. He's not I don't think he's actually in
Okay. Okay.
or maybe he is. I need to play through 4 again. I don't think he's actually in the game. I think you just get to play as
Ooh.
him.
Maybe that's a Patreon goal where me and Tim play four together again.
Oh, that would
Or
be
like
so
I play
dope.
for the first time and that's
Yeah.
then Tim plays it again. We talk
I
about
think
who that.
5 we can play co-op.
I actually thought that because on the cover there's two people. I know
Yeah.
that for a fact.
Yep. Yeah. So that's cool.
That is
But
cool. Anyways.
yeah, like I remember in the one of the movies, like Wes is in it. um, you know, it kind of follows that same narrative, like where they get to the getting towards the end of the movie, and you
Mm.
finally like encounter him. You know,
Ah,
where she's trying to find him,
okay.
knowing that he's the bad guy.
Oh.
And yeah, I don't remember. I know that none of them were like super great. I think the one after was it Apocalypse? One of them got real
Yeah.
weird where there
Apocalypse
was
was
like
two. So my memory is like Apocalypse was the second one and it was decent and it sort of just kind of kept in the theme, you know, they kept with it is what I'm
yeah.
saying. It seems like they did a good job just keeping with it in being its own thing but sort of, you know, but still being part of the our universe. And then I swear the poster of the third movie was like the cover of the fifth game, but the as in like it seemed kind of deserty and Africy, like it just seemed kind of deserty
Oh
and
yeah,
dusty,
yeah,
and that
there's
it gave me more Mad Max vibes than it did fucking Resident
yeah,
Evil, to be
right.
honest.
Yeah, it kind of was that where there was like I mean some of it felt a little bit forced where I remember that
Oh,
it was
really?
in that one where like all of a sudden there's like a trailer and I can't remember why there's a trailer, but they open the trailer doors and it's like just plump full of zombies. They all come
Oh,
running out and then it's time to like fight
oh,
those zombies or whatever.
What?
It's like I can't remember why
Like
any of that
somebody
stuff
transported
happened.
them as a weapon or something?
Well, no, I think it was more like they were trying to like hold the doors shut, but then they couldn't. But you're just like, then you start thinking like, how the fuck did they get them all in there in the first fucking place?
That was exactly yeah, if you're seeing the video version, you saw my face say that.
Yeah, right. It's just weird,
That's
some of
fucking
that stuff.
weird, dude.
But there's one of them, I can't remember which one it was. There's one of them where like everything ends up being like a simulation. That one's kind of cool.
Hmm,
Where they're
definitely
but
never
it
saw that.
but it's also like confusing where it seems like they're
Right.
running a simulation like in Japan where everything's happening and then you I think it's like I think it's the first one where they show that girl like walking through like the
Yep.
the intersection in Tokyo and it's
Okay.
like pouring rain and then like that shows how like the outbreak starts. But
Hmm.
maybe that's not, but I feel like that one was in an earlier movie and then you have it in this like maybe it's even the fourth one where they're showing that simulation again, but then it's like ends up being the simulation of a bunch of different stuff and there ends up being
Huh.
like almost like Nazis or some shit. I can't remember. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, that sounds weird as fuck.
Yeah, it
So
gets a
they
little
kinda
bit
got off the
crazy.
rails, it sounds like to
Yeah,
me.
they're like yeah, they're at one point they're driving like a nice Bentley in this place and yeah, I can't
Huh.
even remember. All I remember is like weird like tidbits that
Hmm.
don't really seem to fit together at all. Like just like now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't describe to you what the
Yeah.
movie was. I'm just like that part was
There's
weird and that part was weird. But
there's just these tiny little, like, clips, and they're non-descriptive almost.
yeah, because like the storyline was weird enough that I can't really like it didn't stick. But I can tell you like yeah, at one point they were in a Bentley for some reason. And I think there were
Right.
Nazis and like
And you're just like, "So that's about my memory of it?"
yeah, and I know there
Uh,
was liquors for sure. There were a couple liquors
yeah, of
involved in
course.
that. So,
Resident Evil frickin' poster child, basically.
yep.
Before we wrap up here, I gotta ask because you started to sort of. I think you were alluding to it, but I have only heard it. I've never played it, so I think it was leading to it, or maybe four was the start of it. But isn't there like a minute game or something like that where you have a minute to beat the entire game, and you keep the clock going, ticking up from a minute by killing zombies and like doing certain tasks and stuff like that. Is that sort of what that horde mode on 4 was starting? Have you ever heard of this thing? Am I just like losing my shit?
No, I've heard of it. I think you're thinking of a different video game. It in the
Okay.
Mercenaries, there was where you start with like a little bit of time and you keep getting the time,
Okay.
and you're basically just trying to make it last for as long as you can, killing as many zombies as you can because it's all about
Mm.
points.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you get so many points, that's how you can like unlock other characters and shit too.
Oh,
So yeah, so you're trying to get the points and stuff, but I think you're thinking of oh, what was that? There's another movie. It was real dark and creepy, and it was about a police officer. But he when he jumped, you could slow down time. You know
Mad
what I'm talking about?
Max.
No, not Mad Max, but I think it was Max something,
Max
wasn't it?
Payne. My bad.
Max Payne.
Max Payne. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So there's definitely a mode on Max Payne for that. I know
yeah.
that
Max
is.
Payne has the New
Yeah.
York Minute mode,
Yeah, the New
but
York Minute. Yeah, that's what it is.
yeah,
Nice. I thought that
yeah.
Resident Evil had implemented something like that, and that's why I brought it
Maybe
up.
maybe they did, but not in the ones that
Oh,
I've
also,
played.
yeah, also like Resident Evil has been transferred. Resident Evil 4 has been transferred to HD, I think twice now.
Okay.
Like I think they went to PS3 and to PS4, and each time they were like it's enhanced or whatever.
Right.
So I think maybe they implemented a minute mode that, but yeah, you're right. Holy shit, that's Max Payne. I've been thinking about playing Max Payne again on my phone because you can get it on Android now, and I have a Sony phone that you can hook a DualShock to. Anyways, I'm getting off topic.
That
We've been talking about Resident Evil long enough. What do
was
you say
another
we
game
wrap this
that
shit up, Tim?
yeah, we should wrap it up. But I was just gonna say that was another game that they made a movie out of.
Yeah, they did. That was the first
Yep.
time I fell asleep in the theaters.
Yeah, it was boring. It's a weird, slow game too, but like when you're playing it, it's different than watching it. Like I could totally see
Yeah.
that being one where if
Yep.
you play it on Twitch, everybody's just like, I'm not gonna watch this shit.
But when you're playing it, you're fucking super into it because you're just like
There's some
aiming in
parts
slow
that are
motion.
super creepy. Yeah, they're like it's just some of them, like some of the parts get real dark.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
Really dark. That the first Max Payne gets.
yeah, there's one scene where like you're in a church or something, and it's all satanic, and the whole time you're like working up to the boss of this place, and he's just screaming crazy creepy shit, and you can't see him, you just hear him over and over,
Yeah.
and he's just like, the
Fact.
blood of the innocents will spill, and you're
Yeah.
like, what in the fuck is going
Yeah.
on? You
Hmm.
can't see anybody, you're just in a room all by yourself hearing these crazy creepy things being screamed.
Hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
It's a good game.
a
Good
very
game.
good game. It's not even a horror game, it's just creepy.
It's just
That
noir,
part, that
creepy.
part's pretty much creepy, or pretty much horror game, but the rest of it not so much.
Right. Right. All right, Tim. Let's just call that it. Let's call that the good stuff. The podcast. Let's wrap it up.
Rip, rip, rap, rap, rap.
All right. Yeah. We definitely should close with the make sure to, like and follow and subscribe and all that shit on YouTube. Because we are going to be doing more things on YouTube, especially if you support us on patreon.com/realaftv, because that is live now on the internet. If you go right now, you could, grab a tier, get some benefits and become a member.
Grab a tear, shed a tear. Nah, we don't. Nah, it's just when you said tear, that made me think. Like I just heard you say it, and I'm like, grab a tear, and then I realized, like, and that's why I said that. I don't really have any reason. It didn't really make any sense. Sorry, I'm
Hey,
off the rails.
that's I think that's how we end the podcast. We just end the podcast off the rails.
Off the rails every time.
It's easier that way.